Honestly, with the amount of investment China has made in Africa, it's safe to say that Africa does not need the West anymore. Since it was launched in 2013, China's Belt and Road Initiative, also called the Silk Road, has made massive investment in the African continent, so much so that today, China's investment in Africa tops that of Africa's traditional partners, the West. As at January 2024, all 54 African countries had signed Memorandums of Understanding with China regarding the BRI and the initiative, and has translated into billions of dollars invested in the construction of roads, ports, railways, and other critical infrastructure. While some experts say that China's Belt and Road Initiative is to deepen its influence in Africa and counter the supremacy of the United States, there is no doubt that the initiative has spurred infrastructure growth across the continent. Kenya joined the Belt and Road Initiative in 2018 during Uhuru Kenyatta's presidency, and since then Kenya has experienced especially revolutionized infrastructure development. Interestingly, the BRI project aligns with Kenya's vision for 2030, which concerns the long-term development that is motivated by a collective aspiration for a better society with a high quality of life. Among the numerous infrastructural projects that the BRI has established, the modern railway still under construction in Kenya is one of the most impressive. The standard gauge railway connects the capital Nairobi with Mombasa, the largest port in Kenya, and has provided a major link for many traders in Kenya and outside world. The Mombasa port serves more than 80% of the regional trade, as it is the gateway and exit point for cargo of the landlocked countries like Rwanda, Uganda, South Sudan, Burundi, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Ethiopia. The modern Mombasa-Nairobi Standard Gauge Railway, SGR, is one of the flagship projects of the BRI, and it is one of the biggest in Africa, spanning a length of 3,800 kilometers. The idea of building a modern railway in Kenya can be traced back to the colonial era where the British constructed the Kenya-Uganda Railway. However, as time passed, the meter gauge system became outdated and inefficient, and it posed a hindrance to the economy. However, after the BRI was launched, Kenya and China entered into a partnership, and construction on the railway began in November 2013. The first phase of the project, which involved building a railway that would connect Nairobi to Mombasa, was originally slated for completion in 5 years. However, it was completed ahead of schedule in 2017 and inaugurated by the then President Uhuru Kenyatta. Before the railway was constructed, the unavailability of a modern rail system between these two cities had put enormous pressure on the highway from Mombasa to Nairobi, resulting in increasing delays and rising costs in passenger movement and cargo transport. However, the new railway line has ensured that travel time and cost between the two cities have been significantly reduced. Speaking at the inauguration, the president said, "This is a historic day, and it is a day that every one of us should feel proud to be a Kenyan." According to the plan, the SGR line is supposed to connect to other countries including Uganda and Rwanda. So, work continued on the project until 2 years later, after the first phase was inaugurated. The reason was that during this period, China began to scale back on funding projects across the African continent as a result of the inability to pay back the debt owed to China. In addition, it's believed that internal issues that have also affected the Chinese economy have also led to hugely diminished funding, which in turn affected a number of infrastructural projects, including the SGR. China was reluctant to lend any more funds to Kenya, given that at the time, the debt profile of the country was heavy, and according to reports, China was Kenya's third biggest external creditor. So, even though the first phase of the project was completed and fully functional, the project remained stalled with no end in sight. However, in December 2023, it was revealed that Kenya was in talks with China to get the stalled railway link back on track under a proposed public-private partnership model that would see Chinese companies source funding to build and operate the railway in a bid to recover their investment. According to President Ruto, Kenya cannot borrow more money as it is currently under massive debt. So the best option was to enter a public-private partnership with Chinese companies whereby they would build, operate, and then transfer the infrastructure to the Kenyan government after recouping their investments. But it seems that after much negotiations between the Kenyan presidency and China Exim Bank agreed to fund the project. This was revealed by Kenya's Cabinet Secretary of Roads and Transport, Kipchumba Murkomen, who said that Kenya has secured a commitment from China's Exim Bank for the funding of the standard gauge railway line from Naivasha to the Uganda border. However, as opposed to previous times, China is not the only financier in this second phase of the project. The Pan-African lender African Development Bank and Kenya's own Railway Development Fund would complement China's Exim Bank funding, as well as that of syndicated loans from commercial banks. In addition, the Cabinet Secretary revealed that both Kenya and Uganda are currently looking for private sector funding to throw support to the project. Speaking to the East African media, Mr. Murkomen revealed that President William Ruto recently hosted his Ugandan counterpart, Yoweri Museveni, at the Kenya State House, where the two leaders threw their weight behind the joint project, which is meant to go all the way to the Democratic Republic of Congo. According to reports, the line will provide the required regional competitive advantage to improve regional connectivity with links to Uganda, South Sudan, Rwanda, and DRC. Originally, the Kenyan government borrowed $5 billion from China's Exim Bank to fund construction of the 472 kilometers of Phase 1 of SGR from Mombasa to Nairobi and the 120 kilometers of Phase 2A from Nairobi to Naivasha. And right now, both sections are in use by both freight and passenger trains. What's left of the project are the 262 kilometers of Phase 2B from Naivasha to Kisumu and the 102 kilometers of Phase 2C from Kisumu to Malaba. The total estimated cost of both phases is estimated at $5.3 billion. With the new funding, Kenya hopes to resume construction in July. So what is the impact of the SGR project on the Kenyan economy and the East African region? As of 2018, Kenya's GDP had grown by 1.5% after the first phase of the SGR project was launched and fully operational. Imagine how much the GDP would grow when the whole project has been completed. However, one of the most important impacts of the project in Kenya is that it has created job opportunities. From individuals employed in the construction sector to the 2,285 staff from diverse professional backgrounds working at the 33 stations and in the passenger and cargo rolling stock, the project has generated numerous job opportunities. Aside from the direct jobs created, indirect jobs were also created through entrepreneurship opportunities posed by the need for goods and services by SGR employees and passengers, including catering and entertainment. Another benefit of the project is increased industrialization. Given that it's a construction project, numerous opportunities for construction-related industries have arisen as demand for materials such as cement, steel, stone, aggregates, and glass required for the construction of the line and stations increases. In addition, with the ease of transporting goods and increased markets due to a new network of trading routes, there is no doubt that more manufacturing and processing plants in other sectors such as agriculture, forestry, fishing, and mining will naturally crop up. A third benefit of the project is a reduction in the cost of doing business in Kenya. Currently, the cost of transport for imported and exported goods in East Africa accounts for 40% of total cargo charges. With the new railway line, transport costs have dropped significantly owing to economies of scale since a single train can haul 216 20-foot containers in a single trip, which would otherwise require the engagement of 108 trucks. Travel time has also significantly reduced, as well as accidents and cargo pilferage common in road transport, all of which translates to lower cost of doing business. The SGR project has also improved tourism opportunities. Kenya's coastal region is the most popular destination for local tourists, but challenges associated with road travel have been a major hindrance to the realization of full domestic tourism potential. However, the entry of a low-cost, comfortable, fast, and safe mode of transport to Mombasa, coupled with the breathtaking scenery along its route, especially the stretch that traverses the Tsavo National Park, home to a wide variety of wild animals, has boosted the number of domestic and international tourists visiting the region. Finally, the SGR will improve regional trade and connectivity, given that the plan is to connect Uganda, Rwanda, and the DRC. People and goods would be able to travel easily within these countries with little stress. What do you think about the project? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video.